It is party time. Welcome to another episode, another one of the Chad Prather Show. I just keep showing up and they keep turning the cameras on and letting me talk. It's amazing how that works. Puppet Master Mark, Super Chris Cruz, and Let's Love Brandon, all at the helm driving us into the nether regions of all things insanity on a Monday. And trust me, it is insane. We never know what we're going to wake up to. Oh, my gosh. I had 3 fantastic shows in Texas, in Belton, Bernie, and Fort Worth last night. So my voice is shot. But let me tell you, we had a good time. We had a good time, and I'm glad to be back with you guys. I love doing what you let me do, and that is come in here and run my mouth. It's June. It's hot. And let me tell you something, traveling around, looking at the signs on the side of the road, gas prices and temperatures are higher than Hunter Biden on a Coke binge. And just when you think California can't do anything dumber, you know what? They do it. A California court has ruled that bees are fish. We talked about this last week, but I want to bring it up again. Bees are now, I said bees, like the little things that fly around in California. They're now legally considered fish in the state of California because fish are a protected species, which, of course, that's par for the course when liberals think that calling bees fish will make them a protected class too, because if you think you are something that just makes it so in liberal fairy tale land. I don't know why we still need California. I really don't. I really don't. Lots of beautiful weather. Great. Lots of money out there, but screwed by the bureaucracy. The hosts of The View, my favorite show on TV, are squawking about wanting to, quote, get rid of Republicans. Yeah, they said that. And that seems appropriate because most Republicans would like to get rid of The View and replace them with a loud testing of the emergency broadcast system or maybe an hour-long block of Joe Biden. Trying to identify common household items would be more useful. And we're going to talk about this some more. It happened yesterday. A Dallas bar it happened on Saturday, I should say. Dallas bar had a Drag the Kids to Pride event where children danced with drag queens and actually gave them money. Folks, listen, if you were really, quote, born gay, why you got to have recruitment events for the kids? I mean, you don't have to go to camp in order to learn whatever it is you need to be, whether it's gay, trans, transvestite, whatever list on the rainbow you need to find yourself. Come on, folks. Come on. You know it's wrong. All of Amber Heard's scenes from Aquaman 2 have been removed. The casting director admitted that they really shit the bed on that one. So she's out. Ohio's governor is going to sign legislation allowing school employees to carry guns, to which I say good. It might make some of the more unruly kids sit straight and pay attention. Hey, police found a baby sleeping in a room with 500 fentanyl pills and a pound of meth. Yes, a baby. It's believed to be the baby's first felony possession charge. There will be a heavy Fisher price to pay. Florida man, this was a big story last week. Florida man receiving oral sex slammed headfirst into a FedEx truck. It's amazing how one small package can cause 1,000 large ones not to reach their destination on time. Oh, boy, lots of things going on. Chris, pop up that picture of the kid at the drag. Look at this. That is a child putting dollar bills in the panties of a transvestite male. Okay? And Biscuit has found Twitterbird. Look at that. She found Twitterbird. I was like, what the hell is making that noise? She's squeezing Twitterbird. I thought it was coming out of that dude's ass. Good God, that's probably what it sounds like. Squeaky. All right, so they had the drag your kid to pride thing, whatever they want to call it. They did it on Dallas. Did it in Dallas. You've probably seen the now viral videos. Our friend Alex Stein, Isabella Riley, several others went and they videoed and they confronted some people. And, of course, I shared a number of the things on my social media. One specific one was when they followed the person out to their car and confronted them, saying, why are you why are you dancing for kids, confronting them, as they should be, by the way, as they should be. Now, this is very different. This is very different because back when Democrat lawmakers were saying that Republicans need to be harassed in restaurants, no, that's a different deal. Okay, apples and oranges. Somebody's out having a meal and enjoying themselves with their family, and you want to go confront them and make a scene. and a confrontation, that's bullshit, okay? That's not right. But when someone is doing that, put the picture back up, when somebody's got their children out there sticking dollar bills in the panties of a guy dressed like a woman, that has got to be confronted. I want you to look at it. Because people came to me on Twitter, some of my lovely, lovely trolls, and not all of them are trolls. Some of them are real people that just love to come after me. And they said, oh, no, Chad, you're the problem. You're the problem. They said, because the real issue is you continue to take kids to Boy Scout meetings and to church. They literally said this. You take them to church. That's where the real pedophilia is happening. No, it's not. No, it's not. By and large, no, it's not. Are there cases? Yes. But here's the difference. I don't purposefully take my child to church so they can be exposed to pedophilia. I don't purposefully take my kids to the scout meeting so they can be exposed to pedophilia. I don't want them to be sexualized. That is an anomaly. That's an aberration. That's an atrocity. And you know what? We should take those people out there. I don't care if it's the youth minister, the church pastor, or the Boy Scout leader, and shoot them in the back of the head. I don't care what label you wear. If you're a pedophile, you're a freaking pedophile. But here's the difference. These parents, for God knows whatever motivational reason, decided it's a good idea to take their children. You look at this video right here. There's a child, maybe 7 years old, 6, 7 years old. You'll see another guy. He's got a toddler on his lap, bouncing up and down. There's 2 toddlers there. While a drag queen is walking around collecting tips from the kids. You took them there with the express purpose of exposing them to this living smut. Now, if you're an adult, I don't give a rat's ass. You can go in there and shove a feather up your ass. I don't care. You can fart glitter. You can get sassy and prissy. But look at this video. If that doesn't piss you off, then you're twisted. You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. That is a young, impressionable child. Several children right there. And what are they doing? So somebody said to me on Twitter, Chris, they said, you go to the circus and you're not scared at the makeup the clowns are wearing. And I said, that's the dumbest analogy I've ever heard in my life. I don't have a clown doing a split on the floor wearing a thong in front of my kid. Look at this child. Look at this child. Do you understand the level of psychological abuse and the impact and consequences that kind of thing is going to bring on these children? This is not one event, folks. See, now, if this was one and done, that'd be one thing. But no. If you are demented enough that you're going to take your kids to a drag show, God only knows what you're exposing them to at home. This isn't a one and done. No, this is a lifestyle thing. You're trying to expose these kids. And I know what you're doing. You're doing it, we want to be inclusive. We want to teach them to tolerate. We want to teach them to accept everybody. You're stupid. You're dumb. And the consequences of what you're pumping into your child's mind and into their soul is going to have reverberating effects in the years to come. You have no idea the confusion that you are sowing in those fertile minds. Now, you guys know me. I like to have a good time. We have fun. I was at my buddy Dan's house for an after party till 2:30 in the morning last night. I mean, this is what 3 hours of sleep looks like, folks. Sexy. Tan on point. Bam. I have a good time. But you know what? I did a show last night, and we knew what Alex Stein opened for me. God only knows what's going to come out of his mouth. God only knows what's going to come out of my mouth. We did a good show. We did comedy. We did music. We had fun. We laughed. It was great. But here's the thing. If you bought a ticket to my show, we expressly put on there for that particular show, 18 and older. Now, if my show, which by comparison to this garbage is innocuous, then and I'm going to have enough discretion to say, yeah, 18 and older. Most places we go 21 and older. Then what the hell is going on right here? What moral compass? Where's the needle pointing? Because this doesn't make any sense to me. Where's the needle pointing? And you're going to tell me that it's like, well, going to the circus and the clowns put on makeup. Well, first of all, that's very transphobic, since you just compared them to clowns. I doubt they would appreciate that very much. But they're going to parade these kids out there. And not only are the kids putting money in the garters here, I mean, this is a step away from the strip club. Why don't you just take them to the strip club? Take them to the strip club. Let them feel some boobies. You know, take them to the VIP. I mean, what's the limit here? What's the limit? Take them in the back room. Let them do some groping. Let them feel some of the real thing. Oh, we would never go that far. Why'd you go that far to begin with? Why are you there? The hell are you trying to accomplish? What's the end goal? What's the end goal? This is adult dress up? That's not that. No, that ain't adult dress up. There's too many places. You could take up to 1 million different places that, like the circus, if you want them playing around in fantasy land. But no, this isn't about fantasy. This is a lifestyle that you're pushing. And not to mention the fact, quite honestly, and I'm pissing everybody off on Twitter, and 0 Fs are given by Camp Chad. You want to do this kind of stuff, and you're exposing them not only to this craziness, but you're exposing them to a dangerous lifestyle. I mean, are you really going to hypersexualize them to the point? You know, if you do studies about, say, pornography and how much, especially in the male mind, because men are visually stimulated. So if you do the studies, the psychological studies of how many times a pornographic image can be recalled in a man's mind before it kind of moves on, I mean, it's astounding. And you're literally going to throw them into a room with people dancing, doing splits, doing handstands, gyrating. And we're not talking about a woman doing it or a man. We're talking about a person who's cross-dressing. So you're parading, normalizing, and sexualizing identity confusion. And then you're getting the children to actually participate in it with you. So look, they're walking them down the little whatever runway. And I want you to see the neon sign. It said, "It's not gonna lick itself." What you licking? It's not gonna lick itself. I don't know about you, but I think I know what they're referring to. Parading these children down. Is that the message? These parents, what the fuck are these parents thinking? What are they doing? What are you doing? And you want to say I'm the problem? Well, I'm about to be your biggest fucking nightmare, because I'm going to expose this shit left and right. And I have people who say, Chad, you know, you get your message across a lot more if you don't cuss. Whoopee-doo. Let me tell you something. We're at war. We're at war. This is beyond a culture war. We got to expose this stuff. These are children. You better get to the bottom of what the motivator is. Don't you come and tell me that this is just some passive little event, kind of fun little show. It's not going to lick itself. Let me tell you something. If I walked up to a woman in a restaurant having a drink at the bar and I looked at her in the eyes and I said, hey, it's not going to lick itself, that's sexual harassment. You could have me arrested for that. You could cancel me. You could start sending letters to Blaze TV and say, you know, one of your hosts sexually harassed me. It's not going to lick itself. Oh, no. But by all means, let's take the kids in there and parade them around. I think you know that I'm pissed off. Thanks, Joe Biden. Hey, in Joe Biden's America, criminals are exalted and the police are condemned. It's sad to say, but you need to be prepared and properly trained to defend yourself and your family. Thankfully, there's iTarget Pro. This revolutionary system allows you to dry fire practice with your actual firearm anytime in the safety and privacy of your own home. no more inconvenient trips to the range. And with inflation causing the price of ammunition to skyrocket, it's going to save you a ton of money. So I want you to download iTarget's proprietary app. You load the laser bullet into your firearm. You start your training experience. It's going to help you develop muscle memory, sharpen target reaction speed, sight alignment, trigger function, and a whole lot more. I had a buddy of mine, he said, does that really work? And I was like, bro, you got to get it. It's awesome. iTarget Pro comes in all the major calibers, including .223. So you get to stay sharp with almost any firearm you own. iTarget Pro is where you need to go right now. I'll save you 10%, plus get you free shipping with the offer code CHAD. I spell it Chad. Makes a great gift for Father's Day. It's less expensive than a few hours at the range. That's the letter I, targetpro.com. targetpro.com. And do not forget to use offer code Chad for 10%. We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. I guess it was about a month ago we had my friend Kelly on. We don't use her last name for some obvious reasons that she's exposing some darkness, okay? And we don't want anybody interfering in her life. So we try to keep as many protective things there as possible. But she's exposing some things. So I want to welcome back Kelly. You can follow her at Kelly SKE on Twitter. And you've been exposing the darkness. You really have. And again, people tell me every single day when I'm talking about it publicly, they say, well, there's none of this grooming going on in schools. There's none of, there's nothing pushing the hypersexualization of the kids in the schools and all these things. First of all, it's good to see you. How are you?
It's good to see you too, Chad. I'm doing great.
Good. And I thank you. You send me the messages. You send me your threads on Twitter. And I'm educated, and I try to take it and reload it and put it out there in my way. So thank you for doing what you're doing. But what's going on? What are you finding right now? What are you seeing?
Well, there was just a conference in Los Angeles for community schools and family engagement. They had approximately 3,500 attendees and multiple sessions that really highlight exactly what these community or healthy schools are going to be all about and what they're trying to put into place, not just with education, but the CDC. And the topics for these conference sessions were all about equity and diversity and inclusion. They were talking about in Lock Etch, there was activist and community organizing discussions. And so it really painted a very clear picture of the aim and strategy of these teachers and teachers unions and what they really want to achieve with what used to be called education.
Now, so when we talk about comprehensive sex education, because again, let's call it what it is. You use these buzzwords like inclusivity and acceptance and things like that. And that sounds great. That sounds wonderful. Like everybody should love everybody else, right? But that's not what's happening, is it? That's not the agenda.
Right. Comprehensive sexuality education is a whole new sex ed program that has a unique definition to include pleasure and eroticism.
No, hang on right there now. Pleasure and eroticism. Because I saw some books that are being distributed as curriculum that talk about kinks and fetishes and homosexual activity and trans activity and various kind of how-to guides on sexual practices. This is actually happening.
Right. That is actually happening.
Folks, you got to get your kids out of public schools. I mean, you just got to get your kids out of public schools. I don't know any other way to say it. You were showing me, show me that badge again. You had this badge, and it says, I'm here. It's got all the colors. I mean, they're going to, eventually they're going to have to put a full poster board up there to get all the colors on there to represent everybody. It's got a QR code on the back. That is an ID badge for educators, right?
That's correct.
And what's it for?
It is for, and it states, we are excited that you are willing to partner with the NEA LGBTQ+ caucus by wearing your I'm Here badge. By wearing our badge, you tell everyone that you are a safe person to discuss LGBTQ plus issues. And then it says, affirming LGBTQ plus youth couldn't be easier than by identifying yourself as a safe and supportive person. This also comes with a disclaimer that indicates that if you are not a safe person, to not wear the badge. So now teachers are being cordoned off by this particular caucus group of who is safe and who is labeled not safe.
See, that's the thing. That's the big thing that bugs me. Obviously, if any child, any young person is dealing with identity issues or whatever they're going through, obviously you want to be an adult that they can come and talk to and receive counsel if that is your role in that child's life. If you're a mentor, you're a coach, you're, whatever you may be, or parent, obviously that should be a given. But they're actually making this almost like an exclusive club of who you can approach and who you can't. And you basically are having to, for lack of better terms, tattle on yourself and say, yeah, I'm toxic, I'm not safe, you can't come to me, which again makes you the bad guy. But it's the opposite way, right?
It's unbelievable what's going on. Just even with the promotion of these gay straight alliance clubs, how there's push to include all these videos in these clubs and special activities, content that rates back to Alfred Kinsey. There's a push for teachers to be the ones really creating these clubs and then even funding some of these clubs, and then going so far as to create the mission statement. Clubs on campus are supposed to be student-led, but many of these clubs, teachers are the ones targeting students for attending, and they're the ones creating the mission statement. So it's really appearing as a teacher-led club, operating under the guise of a student-led club. And these particular, once we get to a place where it is only affirming is the standard across the United States, well, that message is already starting to impact the field of health. Because if we create a gender affirmative only model in the fields of social work, in counseling, in healthcare, and if that is what is equitable, then we have other concerns with regards to how a child or a teen may be accessing only gender affirming hormone therapy, which is, oh, Chad, this is another big one. Because back in 2019, the California Teachers Association wrote in their State Council of Education notes and had a vote that they want students to be able to, in the future, obtain gender-affirming hormone therapy without the barrier of parental permission. So the direction we're heading as a nation, everybody needs to be paying attention to this.
Yeah.
And it's not just California.
And you're right. People say, oh, it's California. And I try to tell them all the time, listen, we just yesterday here in Texas, in Dallas, they had the children's drag show that's kind of going viral now with some of our friends who went out there and videoed some of this stuff. And that's happening in the schools, it's happening culturally, and it's like my gloves are off at this point in time, right? You keep uncovering all this information, and I just keep pissing people off because I'm just saying it as bluntly as I know how to say it. But besides paying attention to this, and you and your husband are doing a fantastic job of uncovering so much of this and researching, what do you think people need to do? I mean, where do we go from here?
I really think it's wise to consider other options than public school. I mean, you're only safe in a school district for so long. This is being pushed nationwide. And many people say, well, our teachers aren't doing that. Our district isn't doing that. Many of the subjects by design are being woven into every other subject. Math is changing, social studies is changing, et cetera. But the big question is, once you're good school district, once those teachers retire, most young teachers across the nation are being radicalized in their teacher credentialing programs and in their undergrad studies. So what can we do? We can be informed and tell others about what we know is going on in a factual and calm way, we can expose it. And then what we can do also is consider our vote. We can shed light on this to our school board members, to our legislators. I think shedding light is really the first part of this, but then we really need to figure out soon what we can do. How do you stop the Center for Disease Control?
Yeah.
Our family chose to homeschool, but I know I continue to do this because not every public school, we're not going to see the public school system gone.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we got to leave it there, Kelly. Come back in a couple of weeks, okay? I would love it if you were on at least every 4 weeks, and let's just keep getting caught up on this stuff because it's mind-blowing. You're doing God's work, and I'm praying for you, okay?
Thanks, Chad.
I appreciate you, and you're a hero, Kelly. Thank you very much. Be following her, and don't just read her tweets, but read the entire threads because she's putting some deep research into it at Kelly SKE, and follow her on Twitter. Thanks. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Chad. Take care.
Take care. Hey, did you guys read where this Arizona real estate agent found the home she lived in listed for sale? That's right. She was living in the home. She wasn't selling her home, though. She was the victim of home title fraud. Devastating crime that's happening all over the country. According to experts at Home Title Lock, the crime is incredibly profitable and hard to detect. An identity thief simply creates a fake title transfer for your home and refiles as the new owner. Then he could take out loans on your home or even sell it, as in that case. Typical identity theft services don't cover you, and neither does homeowners insurance. Home Title Lock does. Home Title Lock puts a barrier around your home's title. The instant they detect anyone tampering with your home's title, they're going to help shut it down. And they're going to help you get your home back in your name. So here's what you do. Go to HomeTitleLock.com, read the testimonials that are there, and then register your address. See if you're already a victim and don't even know it. And when you protect your home, tell them I sent you, CHAD, I spell it Chad. Tell them you'll get 30 free days of protection. That's HomeTitleLock.com, HomeTitleLock.com. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. I wrote a book about it. It's called Am I Crazy? And I hate to keep asking the same question over and over again, but am I? Am I crazy? Every day I look out across this vast, intellectually frozen wasteland of the internet and just looking for pockets of insanity. And every day, the internet does not disappoint me. I want you to take a little short hop with me across the pond to London, where the outcome of a women's bicycle race is showing once again that the left will stop at nothing to prove that 2 + 2 = penis. I want you to extend a warm congratulations to Emily Bridges and Lily Chant, the first and second place winners of the Thunder Crit women's cycling event that took place last week. Now, if you're not familiar with the sport, I want you to understand just how much physical and mental work goes into doing something like this. You have no idea how hard these women had to work to get where they are. A simple gold or silver medal honestly doesn't give the casual observer enough of an idea of the struggle of fixed gear cycling, the countless hours of blood and sweat and tears, the absolute spiritual journey of becoming a winner among equals. And hey, the fact that both women are actually dudes is absolutely immaterial, right? I mean, unless you're a bigot. Are you a bigot? You wouldn't be a bigot, would you? Folks, we have tap danced our way off the edge of collective sanity and now find ourselves falling, legs still a-twitching, into the chaos of a world where solid meaning of words and concepts has been banished to the hinterlands. It's a world where you will have the freedom to be down and you will have neither the right nor the inclination to challenge it. George Orwell tried to warn us about this, but even he didn't take the deconstructionist narrative out to its logic-defying borders. I mean, he didn't go far enough. If you look at a picture of these two, quote, winners, he said with heavy sarcasm, you'll see with that the third place winner, the actual first place winner, like the actual first place winner was in third because she's a woman. But look at the picture. She's a mother taking care of her child after the race is over. I mean, you got to be freaking kidding me on this. I mean, this picture could only be a more graphic representation of what the left is doing to women if these two fellas had their pants pulled down for the picture. I don't want to see that. But women have fought over the past century to accomplish these things, to compete, to do these. And listen, once again, for the millionth time, the leftist ideology, they don't care about women. They don't care about women. They don't care about trans people either, for that matter. I promise you it won't be all that long before the left turns on them as well. Watch and see. You heard it here first. Once all the usefulness has been squeezed out of them, the left will toss them to the curb the same way they're tossing women to the curb right now. Look, I don't have to go over it with you all the things that are both morally and logically wrong with this picture. We all know at this point that we're living on the other side of the funhouse looking glass in a shimmery and wobbly world where common sense wasn't allowed to follow us through the portal. The only real questions left are, what can we do about it, and where does it go next? Well, one of the things you can do about it is get your kids out of the public school system. I mean, my God. Not just so you could save your kid from becoming like the left, but also that you could raise your kid to oppose the left throughout his or her life. As for where this goes next, I don't know. How long are men who can't hack it with other men going to dominate women's sports just because they can? Where does it stop? Hell, what's the next sport going to be? Skeet shooting? I mean, I wouldn't want to watch it, but at least it makes sense to me. I know some women that are pretty good shooters. We're in a clown world. And, you look at this stuff, and I want to reiterate, they're coming for you too. You're cannon fodder. You and your ideology and all of the attention you're getting as a trans person, you tell me that I'm full of hate. Okay. I don't have a hateful bone in my body. I really don't. But they're coming for you. I'm trying to have compassion and tell you, you're setting yourself up on a pedestal so high and so precarious that this whole notion of this normalization of this trans stuff, it's faulty. You know, I always talk about the house of cards that's going to fall in on itself in due time. This is going to be destructive because you're already dealing with mentally unstable people that have a dysphoria. You're already dealing with people who commit suicide 52% of the time who are dealing with this. You're not adequately dealing with the mental stuff that's happening here. So it's going to be tragic. I mean, we could talk about school shootings. We could talk about all this stuff going. You want to talk about tragedy? This is going to be tragic, folks. People are going to die because of this, because the worldview that you are establishing for these people to operate in, the paradigm, the net through which they see the world, their interpretation of reality is so skewed that when the pendulum swings back, it's going to be tragic. It's going to be tragic, and you're. The real shitty crux of the matter is you're putting kids in the mix. You're bringing them into it. So again, Chris made up a great point. He made a great point during the break we were talking. Where's CPS? Well, I mean, if I was taking my 8-year-old to the strip club and bringing him in to the strip club, CPS would pay me a visit. They would come talk to me about child abuse. They'd take my kids away from me. They'd monitor me. I would probably have to register as a sex offender. But no, you could take them to, drag them to Pride, drag them to the tranny parade. You know, when you go to those Pride parades and you see any of the documentation that they put out, they will put the disclaimer on there that says, hey, you're going to be exposed to things like genitalia. But yet people take their kids. I mean, that's child abuse. You're throwing them into the mix of something that is going to be very, very bad. Oh, by the way, this article came out today. Let's see if I can find it really, really quick. This is Daily Mail. Britain's monkeypox outbreak is linked to gay bars, saunas, and Grindr. I didn't say it. They said it. 86% of cases are in London, and just 2 women have caught the virus. As total UK infections rise to 196.
And Chad, there's a confirm of 1,000 monkeypox cases as of this morning. That was the statement. 1,000.
If they can figure out a way to aerosolize gayness and spray it over all of us, maybe we'll all catch it. But until then, unless you're going to the saunas and the gay bars and getting a steamer, you're probably safe, okay? It's just the reality, folks. It's just the reality. Look at me. Look at me. I want you to look at me here. People that get AIDS, by and large, it's homosexual men. You can't deny what I just said. You cannot deny what I just told you. Same with this monkeypox nonsense. It's a consequence of a lifestyle choice. You live a promiscuous lifestyle, and let me tell you something. It's going to be bad. There's physical things that go down. You heard what Kelly said. You get the CDC involved, and now we're all screwed. Because obviously they proved through COVID you can't touch them. Whatever they say is God. Hey, free speech, religious liberty, the Second Amendment across the country, your constitutional rights are constantly under attack. It's getting worse by the day, folks. I'm proud to support my friends at Patriot Mobile. They support that stuff. They're not just America's only Christian conservative cell phone provider. They're one of the few companies that's actually fighting back against the craziness. They offer the same nationwide coverage as the major carriers. You're going to get the same great service plus the peace of mind that your money is combating the left's attempt to silence you. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, yes, even yours, and their 100% U.S.-based customer support team will provide exceptional customer support for you. Patriot Mobile shares your values. They support organizations fighting for religious freedom, constitutional rights, sanctity of life, veterans, first responders. Go to patriotmobile.com/Chad or call them 972-PATRIOT. Get free activation. Offer code CHAD. I spell it Chad. The first responders and veterans I mentioned, they're going to save even more, so make the switch. Between the left, the media, and the rhinos, we need to stick together, folks. PatriotMobile.com/Chad or call 972-PATRIOT. Be right back. So, by the way, as a side note, Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, is not going to speak next week at the Texas Republican Convention. He's opted out. The first time in the history of the GOP convention that a sitting governor has chosen not to speak at it. You know why? Because he doesn't give a shit anymore. He doesn't give a shit anymore. Nobody's challenging him. He's got it in the bag. He's the dictator. This is the guy y'all keep voting for. I had people who came up to me and they kept going, over the weekend, how's the campaign going? You're the problem. You're the problem. Campaign was over March 1st on primary election day. You just told me you didn't vote. But, hey, your governor that you're supposed to represent you is not going to go speak to his party. I'm watching you, Greg. Putting you on blast, bruh. Disney Channel actor, let's stay on topic. Disney Channel actor gets prison for trying sex with a minor. Stoney Westmoreland sentenced to 2 years in federal prison for attempting to lure a minor to have sex with him. Boy, I could save the taxpayers a lot of money. He faced a 10-year prison sentence for the charge of enticement of a minor over the internet. Copped a plea deal with the prosecutors. Hey, you don't get to cop a deal on that. Got to register as a sex offender, whoopee-doo, DNA collection. They took all of his computers. That was the show Andy Mack. He portrayed the grandfather on the Disney Channel sitcom Andy Mack. Allegedly met a 13-year-old boy on Grindr, self-described world's largest social network app for gay, bi, trans, and queer people. He reportedly shared explicit photos with the teen. F Disney. F them. Screw them. I mean, what more can we say to you at this point? I mean, all under the name of acceptance and inclusivity. And people say, you don't know what you're talking about. You think we live in a bubble? We don't know gay people? We don't know people who have lived this life? Are you serious? Those aren't it ain't being gay. That ain't the thing, folks. It ain't being trans. That ain't the thing. That's what we're talking about. Pumping this stuff out there. And by the way, if you're trying to lure or entice a child for sexual encounters, you're gonna get caught. Okay, you're gonna get caught. And they ought to start hanging those people in the public square. Don't even waste a bullet. The rope is cheaper and you can reuse it. You're not worth the bullet. What else was the thing? You got Elon Musk asked the question about Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, the media, and the DOJ. Oh, Elon has been thoroughly red-pilled. Dude, he's just sick of it. He's just sick of it. Like, I think he's caught so much shit at this point. He said, only thing more remarkable than DOJ not leaking the list is that no one in the media cares. Doesn't that seem odd? Things I'll never see in my lifetime. He's got the dinosaur, the dragons, the unicorn, and the meme. He also included the words, the Epstein-Maxwell client list. And by the way, you pinheads that want to keep saying, oh, you post a picture of Donald Trump standing next to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. They were neighbors, first of all. Okay? You watched Andy Mack on Disney, and the grandfather was trying to lure a 13-year-old. So does that make you guilty by association for supporting that? Again, there are times you're around people. But that doesn't mean you're guilty because you're around them or your picture was made. Hey, one billionaire is next to another billionaire and somebody snapped their picture. Doesn't mean the person knew what was going on in that person's life. They know now. But let me just tell you this. Let me tell you why Trump ain't guilty of any of that stuff as far as the list. Because if Trump was on that freaking list, you'd all know about it. You would all know about it. That thing would have been leaked post-haste a long time ago. If any Trump, anybody was on that list, oh, that would have been out there. That would have been out there. I mean, listen, if they're going to leak a ruling of the Supreme Court before it even comes out, and that's one of the most sacred places, secret places where integrity and keeping things close to the vest. No, this would have been leaked long ago if it had been Trump. So don't even, you could throw that stuff out there, and let me just tell you something. And again, that's not me defending Trump. If Trump was on that list, I'd want to know. And you could use the same rope to hang him, by the way. If he's on that list, then he's guilty too. I'm not kissing anybody's ass in regards to these children. So anyway, you're wasting your time with all of that stuff. Folks, it's bad. It's bad. We're going to continue to get to the bottom of this. In fact, I think this week on Overtime, I'm going to spend the entire 20 minutes. I'm going to uncover some of the stuff. I'm going to use some of Kelly's material as well and expose some of the stuff that's there. So make sure you're subscribed, blazetv.com/Chad, and use promo code Chad to save. But we're going to put some stuff out there because I'm just sick of people saying it's not happening. And we're just going to sit here and keep telling you it's happening. We're at a point like you want laughs, you want to get entertained, come to a live show. Okay. On this show right now, as long as I've got you as an audience, I'm going to keep exposing this stuff. Hang tight. We'll be right back. Hey, you saw me reference my book, Am I Crazy? Proud to say the audio version of this is going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So be aware of that. You can still get the book wherever books are sold, and it's a lot of fun. Get it for the opening chapter and the final chapter alone. Let me tell you, everything in the middle is just fun. But I'm telling you, if you read nothing else but the first and the last chapter, get the book. Subscribe to Blaze, as I told you, blazetv.com/Chad. And hey, come hang out. We're opening for Blake Shelton. Saturday, yeah, in Henrietta. We're going up there with Troy Aikman, his event, Highway to Henrietta. Then the week after that's our show, Shawnee, Oklahoma at the Ritz. WatchChad.com has all the information. I love you. God bless you. Thanks for hanging in there with us, folks. The fight is real. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.